This meeting is called on 11/20, May 26, 2023, to address the incessant ruse of the cannibal British rabbit, justifying Mount Desert Island and denying that it was a setup for the COVID attack, which is all lies as usual. The quisling relationship of the state of Washington and the states of Pennsylvania are long established by the litanies of the usual laws that they tell. One can be baggaged by the monstrosity of having to address a somehow checkered reason at work in their monstrous gangling laws upon laws that come tumbling out of their mouth like a flood. So, dealing with the laws of Peter Gabriel and Robert Fripp and Peter Sinfield is a burden on language because the only thing that they offer is a gangle, fork-tongued hypocrisy and spews of laws. That they come across with this imperial British accent and announce that it's checkered reasoning at best, at worst, checkered reasoning. So let's talk about the Quisling relationship with the state of Washington for a moment. I was lured here by ad was after the University of Pittsburgh lured me to the student law club where my father had been a senior faculty at the University of Pittsburgh. And they set up an appointment, invited me there. And when I showed up to cancel, they arrested me for defiant trespass, which is an obscenity. When I brought this to the attention of the librarian, when I sought refuge in Seattle, they promised me protection from abuse. By the way, Seattle set up a Monday through Thursday program called Abused Deaf Women's Advocacy Service, who took me on as well, they figured they'd make me a eunuch, so I bordered on being a woman. Ha 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 ha. And this is what they did in the state of Washington. They had no intention ever of offering me protection from abuse. They lied, in other words. I was homeless for 2 years trying to deal with Pittsburgh's deranged orangutan violent brutality and the checkered reasoning, the foreign rabbit allure, is that Miles Kirshner and Robert Fripp announced that to protect Leslie Katz, they were going to take it out of him a queer ball by hiring a hooker to give him uh, aerobic therapy, which is just a lie. It has nothing to do with what they did. I'll tell you what they really did. They used a nerve agent on me and kidnapped me in the back lots, a place called Snively Avenue, a little alley, and they locked me in a garage, which was full of papers. I told the police, get those papers out of there and find out what was going on with these people. They ignored me, completely ignored me. Hustler tried to make it look like Nambla, pussy, sissy, getting worked over for could have saved John Lennon. Had nothing to do with me, nothing to do with me, and it never even happened. This is all show business put on. So these creeps say I was housing Leslie Katz. Far from it. I was telling Leslie Katz that she had the right to be left alone by me, but she shouldn't be mocking me. And she was hurting me. She was stealing from the museums. Everybody knew how badly it hurt, but they didn't know that there was neuroplasm that they'd implanted. The museum thieves, dealing with a snake, working with Shulman, and they were hustling private information to Yoko Ono, who had it planted on me, had hired these gangs in the first place to torture me. And the state of Washington is gambling with its lucre in, risk management litigation, that they can get away with this gangster idea that they hold me personally responsible for the AIDS attack. Get that? That's what the whole thing is about, holding me personally responsible for the AIDS attack. Can you believe it? And they do this on behalf of the people who released the AIDS attack, and they think it's a screen. They help them. I'm not deceiving anybody. The people who lied to my face in cold blood offer me protection from abuse. publishing things like enough but not enough. In other words, we'll stick you against some more if we want to. Coming from the State Department on behalf of these checkered reasoners who not only harass but brutalize and torture disabled children in those regions of Pittsburgh. Nothing to do with protecting Leslie Katz from being harassed. I'd forgotten who Leslie Katz was by the time they pulled this stunt. Nothing to do with anything but their screaming, seething, viperous obsession with women's virginity. And you can't find a single woman, not a single woman with the dignity to stand up to them because they want to be in the family of the Beatles, the family of the Beatles. And they make it look like John Lennon had something to do with me. John Lennon had nothing to do with me, except that he singled me out for his little Nazi gang of turnaround pranks for the European royalists. It's all coming from Germany's Green Party. They turned up the heat on the climate movement, turned up the heat. They gave me a Tylenol, see, and Wattenmaker gave me a nerve agent. Watten, W. Atten, Maker, Atten, Burrow comes up with climate change, groovy, sweetheart, Greta Thunberg, and they give me Atten to give me Parkinson's disease and erectile dysfunction, diabetes, so that I'm like a woman from the abused deaf woman's democracy, the eunuch. And they laugh about it, screaming with hilarity from their Occupy in places like Missouri. They laugh about it, screaming with hilarity, betraying senior faculty at the University of Paris. You should see how obsessed they are with getting my grandmother's rent. Their intimacy is so psychotic. They just seethe with intimacy. They invade the home, they have spy cams, they have PEEP. In February of 1994, Vaclav Havel, penis Gabriel of Genesis used ultra high on me. They violated the inner region of the mind for Pink Floyd and the Beatles, BBC, New Age, ultra high radar scream. And they said I had, while they broadcast the voices of stuff, they said that I had schizophrenia. So I went back to school, got straight A's for 4 years and made Phi Theta Kappa. I said, tell me about it, liars. This is what they are. They're liars. Peter Sinfield was working with Roger Waters, and Roger Waters is a suspect in the murder of Alexander Dugan's daughter. The assassination of that poor girl was a symbol of his mind at work when it comes to me. That's what he was doing. He's a psychotic gangster who thinks he's the walrus of the New World Order. God help us, we have a walrus in the New World Order. These people Access Hollywood has gotten in the back door and stabbed the United States of America in the back. And these gangsters in Occupy in the state of Washington, the state of Pennsylvania, have no honor code that they can bring themselves to even try to live up to. The people of the city of Pittsburgh should reflect on their honor code and at least try to live up to it. They don't care about it. They just throw it away. That's what the whole thing is. Now they have set up the final demolition with the debt default that's pending for the coming storm of the New World Order. These people are criminally insane. They kicked our grannies off the earth. They tried to make me look reckless by telling me I was probably well. So I go to senior citizen center. They didn't warn me off. And I told the adult, I tested negative 3 times in a row. So I'm going to go have lunch because I have nutritional problems. You can see I have nutritional problems. They won't feed me. They had me homeless and they lied to me. They said they were going to bring me here to give me protection from abuse and then they tortured and they poisoned me in the mouth. That's what these police officers and administrative regulars selling this checkered reasoning about intervening to protect someone from being hassled by blaming an innocent person for the AIDS attack. That's what they're doing. They're trying to blame me for the AIDS attack and then put me through the nightmare of scapegoating and poison crime and torture and murder. That's what the state of Washington was doing for the New World Order. They're criminally insane. They're the bad guys. There's nothing good about what's being done. I'm a hostage.